Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And we are now in day 42 of 100 days of DevOps. It's been a very wonderful journey so far to get to this very day. So if you're seeing my videos for the first time, so what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to cover DevOps in 100 days from the basics, the foundation, into more advanced concepts. We've done the phase one, which is Linux foundation, we are understanding Linux and all of that. Then we considered networking, which is also the foundation. Then the second stage was containerization, where we looked extensively at Docker, several things that you can use Docker to do, and all of that also. And then we are currently in the third phase of our journey, which is the CI/CD. And in this third phase, we are focusing on just the CI. And I've explained everything about CI/CD. We've been looking at Jenkins in the past about 3 to 4 to 5 days, and yesterday we were able to complete um our pipeline, writing of our pipeline. So today we are going to continue in that progression. So what we are going to do today is I explained that Jenkins the script or the pipeline script is usually kept in something that we call a Jenkins file. So up until now, we have been, putting the pipeline in a declarative manner. We've just been declaring the pipeline. We would edit, we'll come to our VS Code, we'll edit the pipeline, and then we'll go to our Jenkins UI and then paste it there as a declarative format, and then we'll run it. So what we are now going to try to do now is, since we've been able to do it manually, we want to, bring in some level of automation into what we are actually, trying to achieve. And that's what we are going to basically focus on today. So today we are going to take all of this, we put it in a Jenkins file, we push it to our GitHub repository, and then we'll see how we would. It's going to probably just going to be the same thing, but then the format that we've been using this past 4 days will be quite different. So I'm just going to copy this, and I would remove this step. I'll temporarily remove this step, and I'm going to tell you why rather. So let me remove this, and I'll copy it, and I'll bring it back, and I'll explain to you why I did that during the course of this video. So when I do ls, I just want to confirm that I'm on the root folder. So what I'll do is that I would create what we call a Jenkins file. Just I explained it's similar to Docker file. It's same thing. Docker file is for Docker. Jenkins file is for Jenkins. The first letter is always capital, and then the rest is lowercase. So I'm going to go into this Jenkins file, and I'm going to paste everything I've copied. So I really hope this is properly formatted. Let me be sure. Okay, so let me save it. So I'm going to push it to our GitHub repository. Okay, so I will add it. So Git can actually track it, and then we'll commit it. So let's check the status again. So let's commit -m Jenkins file. Then next is I want to push. So to ask for username and then password. So it asks for password. So let me just get that from my notepad, because I know I saved it because for subsequent usage. We bring it up. Okay, so this is it. I'm just going to come here and I'll paste it. Okay, so let's go to our source code management tool. So we have our Jenkins file there now, and I'm just going to confirm that it is properly indented. Okay, so from what I see here, we do not have any errors. So well, let's go to our Jenkins UI and would build again. Okay, all right. So what we are going to do here is the only difference we'll do here is let me see this, configure Jenkins to pull changes in SCM and all of that. So we can tick this, but most importantly, we are not going to use pipeline scripts, right? We are not going to use pipeline script. Let me take this also. So we are going to use pipeline script from SCM. Like when I was showing the Jenkins UI, I stated that there are two ways for us to do this using the pipeline script, or we pick the pipeline script from our source code management. So when I click on this, okay, so it's going to ask us which SM are we using. Obviously, what we have is Git. So and it's already showing that it's going to look for the script part, which is Jenkinsfile. So it will go to your GitHub repository, and at the root folder, it will look for a file called or named Jenkinsfile. That's why we had to name it Jenkinsfile and push it to our repository. So we want to put our Git URL. If I come here and I copy this, so we don't have any credentials. Our branch is main. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's basically all. Since it will go to our Git repository and try to, if you check the main branch and look for a file named Jenkins file, and then whatever is declared in the Jenkins file, it is going to do that. So now I wanted to explain, I removed the checkout code from the from our Jenkins file. That is no longer necessary if you've already put the repository URL here. So there is no point. It won't break anything if you still leave it that way. It won't break anything. But I mean, if you're already declaring your repository, obviously you are pointing Jenkins to the repository it's trying to get details from. So you don't need to actually repeat that step in your pipeline. I don't know if that is clear enough. So let's run it. And I didn't put any credentials. So if we have a field pipeline and it asks for credentials, then we might have to add credentials. But when we did it in that first step, it didn't ask us for credentials. So let's see if we would you know go through the same here. So we're just saving our changes. So now we are no longer using pipeline script. We are using the script from SCM. So now let's build and let's see what happens. So if it can go through the first stage of you know connecting with the repository, then I believe all other stages should work out fine. Okay, so it has obtained Jenkins file from the from our GitHub repository, and then this is the start of the pipeline. Okay, so I feel it is going to go through this stage. Okay, so we are now in the second stage. We are testing the backend. So basically, we are doing the same thing, but this time around, you can see that we are not how do I put it now? We are not declaring, we are not writing the pipeline and then putting it. We are now linking Jenkins with our GitHub repository to pull a Jenkins file or to to extract a Jenkins file and read the content of that file. So whatever changes we want to make now, we're just going to make it to the Jenkins file, and we're not declaring it again. So you can see that everything is running perfectly well. So I believe we shouldn't have any errors because we've done this over and over and over and over again, and it has ended up in a success. So now going forward, whatever edits that we are going to do, we are now going to edit our Jenkins file, push to our GitHub repository, and then you know Jenkins will pull it from there. So I'm just going to wait a sec for all of this to be complete, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Now there is a better way for us to get this done. There's a much more effective way for us to get this done. You know, you don't want to always come and click on build now anytime you make any changes. You want Jenkins to be able to automatically detect any change that you have made to your repository, and then run the pipeline automatically. And this is what we are going to consider in tomorrow's video. So I just want this to run completely so that I know I can be sure and I can show you. I remember yesterday we added the post stage, and I didn't show the pipeline of that particular stage. So I want us to also view that last post stage and see the end of that's the complete Jenkins file. So let's just give it a sec, and then once all of this is done, we confirm from our Docker hub that it has been pushed, and then we'll definitely call it a day, and then tomorrow would look at something else, which is one of the very, very interesting things tomorrow. So let's just give it a sec. I think it has finished scanning the front end. It's trying to scan the back end, and then after that, it will push to Docker repository, and then do the post stage. Okay, so our pipeline has built successfully. So this is the part I wanted to show you. So it cleaned up. So it removed the login credentials, and it removed any other image from the Jenkins itself, so that you are reducing, or you're not, the Jenkins memory will not get filled up on time. So this is what I wanted to actually show. That's this last stage, and we have a success. So I'm going to see you again tomorrow. I hope you've learned something from this. I think this is actually one of the shortest videos. So I hope you've learned something from this short video. So tomorrow we're going to look at automation. We're going to look at, we will display exactly how CI/CD automates things. So that's like the juice of everything. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.